Just a second. Okay. Now that I got that straightened out. So, just like the title says for this stream, I'm a little salty. And I feel I have good reason to be. No, I mean, I personally wasn't wronged. I just feel the creative community.
Bitch.
What?
Chase Dickman loves you. Lol.
What's up, Sean? You gonna hop in here or what, dude?
NM bro.
Well, anyways, I'm a little salty. Just from the creative as a whole. Because I feel that Epic Games makes exceptions
Watching TV
continuously.
with my wife.
Oh, okay, word. You might want to mute me then. But I feel this helps a great example of the leniency of Epic Games. Partially because of certain things that were added to it, and then also just because I've spoken to a few people who've had things featured, or they're being spoken to by Epic for having things featured, and they just don't follow the steps that Epic says they want you to follow. They just give, a lot of love on other platforms. So then Epic reaches out to them and is like, hey, we like what you did. Let's just circumvent this entire process that we want you to do. Like, I probably wouldn't have an Imgur account if it wasn't for the forums requiring an Imgur account. You know what I'm saying? But one of the requirements for like a creative hub is you can only shout out your creative code twice, right? I see at a minimum 4 counts for this creator's code. Nothing against the creator, I'm just saying Epic definitely let them get away with it when they say you can only do it twice. There it is, 4 times. 5 if you want to count the YouTube channel, which it also says in the rules for Creative Hub entry no use. Let me change this to this one. It also says no gameplay mechanics. Now this might be a little hit or miss, but to me, that counts as a gameplay mechanic. There's 2 buttons that you have to hit to launch fireworks. It's small, yes, but it's still there. This might just be because I'm the type of person that if there's rules, I expect to be followed, but whatever.
But has blue drive. Lol.
Oh, but it's blue drive? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, certain creators, they get in really good with Epic, and Epic will definitely make exceptions for them. There's one creator in particular, I'm not going to say the name, but I had this full conversation with them on Reddit before when they tried making a sheet saying, hey, these are the things you need to do to get your stuff featured. And me and a few other people were like, no, that's not right. According to Epic's own submission form, you're wrong. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know, I never submitted one. I've only just posted my stuff to Reddit. And it's gotten enough likes that Epic featured it. It's like, well, what the heck are you even trying to say the submission forms for? Like, why are you trying to give the guidelines when you don't even know them because you've never actually submitted one? You've just gotten enough likes because you posted at the right time, and you've always included in your title the sympathy words of, I've spent countless hours building this. Matter of fact, that same person said they spent countless hours on a map that in Discord they said they only started building the night before for
Later,
building
bro,
competition.
but I agree.
So, like I said, just salty about it. But it's really, like, there's literally nothing I can do about it other than complain right now. And there's really no point because there's nothing I can do. But I need to vent, and a lot of times the only way you can vent or get over something is by complaining about it. Not sliding the creators at all, slightly sliding Epic by allowing these loopholes to serve as a way for people to say, well, that's not how this person did it, and you guys have featured them so many times. That's only going to cause folks to be upset and, just lose distrust with the company, to be honest. Because how can I trust that, not even saying my stuff's good enough to be featured, but how can I trust that if I put in enough work and effort, or what I feel would be enough work and effort, that it's actually going to be seen if the people that are constantly being seen aren't actually going through the appropriate channels. They just, hey, I got a code, here you go, and go check it out. If you guys like it, let me know, and if there's anything I need to fix, I'll fix it for you. It just seems very set up to be a plug and play, only want to have a few major creators, as opposed to trying to find, because I've seen some really, really good creators that honestly, I don't know if they'll ever actually get the recognition that they deserve because of just the way everything's done right now. See, can I place one of these to make it like a pseudo stairs? Probably not. Let's see what happens if I... No. So if I turn this off. No. Some gridlock piece. Started making more of a tropical map, or I said to myself I was going to make a skate park for my next hub build. I guess I'll do that. see, keep full assets. Get rid of the rocks, keep the lights, get rid of the water and stuff. Let's see, let's go for a Tony Hawk vibe. The old Tony Hawk Pro Skater days back in. Let's see. Dark to no. Try to go for some prefabs and stuff that haven't been getting much love. Yeah, let's go to Junk Junction. No, I don't like the color palette for Pandora containers, at least not for this one. Let's go to this depot down there. Let's go with whiskey. How many do I have? 3. Maybe set, sure. No props just yet. Go lay down, dog. Go on, dude. Go lay down. Hate to do it, but I'm gonna have to go with some of the... See, now prime example, like I'm trying to make a skate park. I need it to look like a skate park, while also like maintaining certain aesthetics. But the downside is I'd love to be able to put in the like the French fries that they, it's what they use to make you be able to slide around during the downtown drop. But you can't really do that because that would be a gameplay mechanic, which isn't allowed. Which by that means a ice trap, I feel, would also count because it's a trap, and then you only use that in gameplay. Tell you what though, right before they took out the block, something I was... Let's go off gallery and stairs. Yeah, that's probably the wrong choice. But something I was getting ready to try to build, I was building a block entry that was going to include neutral traps. And I'm not saying it would have been an amazing block. In fact, it probably would have been a very rage-inducing block. Yeah, it's no good. I don't need that one. But it would have been new. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have just been, here's a building I made. It would have been something that hadn't been seen before in the game. And honestly, I think it would have been worth, getting the block put on there. But downside, I was like literally right towards the tail end of Season X, and then I found out from unnamed source that there was going to be no block in Chapter 2. I think it was like one of the leakers or something shared that in one of the many leaks that were showing up that were bound to happen. But as soon as I found that out, I was like, seriously? Like, here's a thing that originally wasn't accepted by the community, and it has slowly become more and more accepted, and they just take it away. Just take it away. But it's not, again, it's not really something that I can, I don't know, rightfully complain about. Let's see, which way do I want to rotate this? Good job, Epic. So, I don't want to give anyone an opportunity to say that this is broken. No, what? Wait, who says that those have to be right there? Maybe I don't want this to be right there. You stay here. What if I just give you all this? Look at the bigger platforms to get you up to it. First, I need to lay down some street. Let's find me some roadworks. That's our roof. Seriously, dude? Go lay down in your room, dog. Over here farting a storm. Or farting up a storm. And take him outside and he just stands there. Like, what, dude? I'm just gassy. I think it's because it's getting old. Of course, it's going to end up stinking to high heaven here in any second. Of course, he needs to lay down right next to me when he does it. Then after he's done farting, he goes away. Because when I remember there was like a... I don't know if it was like a street gallery. Yeah, street gallery. Anyway, this is all probably going to get turned into a blog post. Be expanded on even more. Just because, like I said, I'm somebody who really insists on rules being followed and whatnot. But at the same time, I want to acknowledge that not everything will be as people say they will be. Especially when it comes to, you know, large companies. Let's just cover the entire area with this, and then when it comes time to get a nice set of stairs or something going up to it. See? It's good to know. Look at that. Disgusting. Now I know I gotta block all that in. So that way you can't see, or just replace it with like a potted plant or something. Decorations. You know, is this probably gonna go from being skate park to being nothing more than a residential scene. What are you doing down there? Okay. Let's see. I don't need you. dang, they're called secondary player rifts. Shoot. When I filled out the form, I said additional player rifts. I'm probably gonna get dinged for it. Oh, he used the wrong vernacular. Can't have that. Alright. Put jobs on, why not? Just so I can... Okay. This can be easily ran up on. Good. Good. So, thinking is... instead of having... see if I can make like 2 of these into like a half pipe, maybe? You see, you can't have anything blocking the rifts. Don't want to make the entire thing a half pipe, that'd be dumb. And then the walls would actually block the secondary player rifts. Let's look around. No, I don't need street gallery right now. Ooh, maybe we can... yeah, use these bad boys as my pseudo stairs for now. Although I'm pretty sure the lip on these like prevented you from being able to run up them. Oh no. Okay, I guess. Cool. I guess if I wanted to, I could make it just like a rooftop scene. Or I could use the junction stuff and make these crushed cars instead. Another thing I wanted to do was make my escalators in the 80s mall map functioning by using the trick of shrinking down a shrinking down the plank from the pirate ship. You can shrink that down and hide it inside shelves, turn it sideways, to where it's inside a wall, and all of a sudden you have a ladder. You don't get to walk up it rung by rung, but as soon as you hit it, it bounces you all the way up it. Alright, let's see. What do we have? To work with. I don't want to go with typical stuff. Try this like the Dusty Depot stuff right here. Yeah, give me 16. Alright, rotation reset, done. That's gotta be like the most annoying. There we go. So if we line this bad boy up. Or we could make it a prison yard. that's probably too much of a subject for the majority of Fortnite's player base. Fortunately, this is a lot of what you do in creative, is just constantly go back and rehash things. What's crazy is, like, I'm not even the person that normally complains about stuff like this. Like, I'm usually the one that's like that tries to find the silver lining in like Epic's decisions and what they do. What the heck's that gallery at? Where did I put it? There it is. So I think it's kind of telling, to be honest with you, with how basically like poorly managed this has been by Epic. There are a few creators that I feel just continuously make amazing content. They're bigger creators, and honestly I have zero issue with, just because of how good of content they make. But at the same time, I have to have some issue with it to maintain consistency. I can't be one of those people that sees that, hey, you got a standard, it's so nice, why not make it double? That's just not how I am. Would it count as obscuring the rifts if I make this like a single like tunnel to get up in here, and then doing that? It shouldn't, because I distinctly remember one of the Halloween maps having something like when you first spawned in down here, it was like a courtyard. It was all fairly obscured, and then to get up here there's just like one or two on both sides, and then there was, you know, essentially a wall like this all the way around it. Of course, it wasn't exactly like this. It was actually very similar to it was more like that, but like it had like high peaks. So stop it. So I guess it was something similar to that, where it's like the pieces they used, but they're more set up here. So once you got passed up onto here, this was all available. Question did you figure out? I think a little bit more clarity on Epic's part as to what's acceptable, what's not acceptable would be greatly... Ooh, that's terrible. Welcomed by the community, to be honest. To avoid, you know, any confusion. Seriously, dude? Alright. Guess I gotta step away while... take the dog out. Dadgum, dude. Okay, I'm back finally. Alright, so how am I gonna fix this? Or else I gotta raise this up. See, that doesn't make sense. This stuff was not made to do that. So I gotta extend this out. Make it a big boring square for now. Dadgummit. Everything else lining up decently. At least. Is that too far on? I don't know. I see, said the blind man to the deaf guy. My uncle's a blind man and a deaf guy. See if I can just move it back a little bit, scoot it over. Drop it down just a hair. No? There you go. Let's see if that works. This paired with barbed wire on top, I think it can make a pretty effective prison yard. The basketball court and some weights in here. Sure, why not? Maybe I'll just do the old tactic of I'll just shotgun it all. Throw enough at them, hopefully something will stick. Or I'm just gonna build it until I get sick of it and then scrap it all. Because that's totally a thing. Why you do that to me? Probably, I guess I should have just gone with lining it up the top anyways. Oh great, now my view's all messed up on it. Okay. Okay, I know you'll wind up good. Should I extend this one out too? If we're being consistent, might as well, right? Now we don't have to worry about the pesky hassle of trying to figure things out. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. Alright, so how'd I do that? I guess I'll have to put half wall there and then lay down a full one. So I still need you. talking smack about him. I guess I'm gonna be cutting this one short, even though I literally just got back. Super duper. Once again, close enough. Why not? Close enough for government work. I wonder if I can just rehash. I probably will just rehash some ideas from a previous build of mine. And literally just carbon copy them over here. Like, why not? I mean, all the assets are already there. Might as well, right? Speaking of copying, there was once this dude, I'm assuming he's a dude, because in video game world, every person's a guy. I don't actually think that. Don't get offended. Just an easy way to classify, I guess. It's a lazy way of doing it when you don't want to be a weirdo and dig into somebody's profile and see if they're a dude or a chick. But anyways, this person made a really good looking plane, and they posted it to Reddit, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna totally use this in a build. You know, clearly got like no response back from the person, and then I used it in a build. Posted pictures of said build to Reddit. The home dude decides to roll into the picture or the post and goes, "Where'd you learn to make those planes?" And you know, like I said, I already told him on his post that I was going to use them in a build. So I was like, you. And his response was like, yeah, haha. I was like, dude, I told you I even said it on my comment. I was like, I told you I was going to use them. Like, what do you think I was doing? Like, lying? Like, you checking for... It's not even like the planes weren't even like the biggest part of the build. I wasn't trying to pass the planes off as my own. I was just passing off the build. Because the build was me. And it's like, what are you hoping to gain by doing that? If I wanted to, I mean, I could pull the same, you know, pseudo jerk move on people for, you know, before they added the volcano events in creative. I made my own, and then literally the next day I saw people posting just rehashed ideas of, you know, their version of it. I didn't, you know, lose my cool or be like, hey, where'd you get that idea from? I just was like, hey, you know, good job, found another way to do it. Because that's what a forum-esque website is about, sharing of ideas. But this dude clearly didn't actually want to share his idea. He just wanted to get slapped on the rear end and told that a boy. part of the reason why I want to. We're gonna look good, is it? No. Oh crap, on a shingle. Alright, fellas, you'll get some additional yardage time, I guess, or space in my prison. Or I can just cover this area up and make it like the watchtower. If I want to make an artistic standpoint and say it's a representation of the prison we're all stuck in our minds while we're stuck in Fortnite. Because like that mom in Canada said, they hired people to make us addicted to this game. It's not that fun of a game. Epic, you're terrible for doing it. How could you, Epic? These don't look good. I think it'd be cool to make a Total Chronicles of Riddick looking thing. Feeding time. Let's see. That's an odd looking light post. What if I made the entrance to those? Now it has to be easily accessible. You can't block anything. That's why I'm really confused as to what I'm going to do here with this clip of nonsense. Because if I put anything here, it probably will block that. Unless I lay down stuff like this. I'm not going to do that. On. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. I didn't just cover something up by spamming the same thing over and over again. I'm not crazy, you're crazy. Speaking of I'm not crazy, you're crazy. I once had a buddy while I was in the Navy that he straight up went to the psych ward because he had enlisted. Oh, he enlisted to do something. I know, super helpful. But what he enlisted to do required a psych eval. And he eventually ended up becoming a secretary. Or we called him a yeoman, but you're a secretary. You know, nothing against it. Just that's the easiest way to equate it to civilian life. But, yeah, anyways. So we had to do a psych eval, right? And while he was doing the psych eval, he answered honestly. Which I think is probably the easiest way to have them question your sanity. It's just answer honestly with how you actually feel about things. And that's probably the wrong looking brick. But I'm probably gonna want more militaristic looking brick. To be real. Like that. Gee, here. Not here. Just a nice little 1x1 will do. But and his answering honestly, they're like, yo, something's wrong with this dude. Let's pull him aside and find out what he really thinks. So they pulled him aside and they're like, so You said that there are times where you imagined that you laid still before when you were 5 years old, and you imagined that you were dead. And he was like, yeah. Thinking to himself like, who hasn't? Now, most people would just say, no, I haven't, because you're clearly gonna peg me for that. And as a result, they ended up sticking him in this like psychiatric ward for military personnel, which then caused him to have to go through like months of not therapy but just observation. That's what they call it. At one point in time, he was, you know, really good drawer, really good artist. He wanted to draw, because that, for anyone who does art knows that participating in art is highly therapeutic for you. It's highly therapeutic for people in general, but especially for those that just really enjoy, making art. And this dude goes, hey, can I get a pencil? And they hand him this like super dull pencil, and he goes, what's this? And like, it's your pencil. He's like, no, can I get a real pencil? And they're like, what do you mean a real pencil? That is a real pencil. And after this ordeal, I guess you could say, wasn't really like a big thing, but I guess in the psych ward it is. He was like, y'all think I'm crazy? Well, I'm not crazy, you're crazy. And just totally loses his mind. And yeah, afterwards he became a yeoman for highly sensitive documents and individuals who had decent level clearance. I guess they spoke to him enough and they realized, hey, this guy isn't crazy, he's just a little bit of a weirdo. I mean, which he wasn't, but when you look at psych evals, that's kind of how it looks. That's a piece from downtown. I got these pieces literally right here for me to use. This one was already the orientation I wanted. It's slowly coming together. It's starting to look like something a 5th grader would build. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna brag. My 12-year-old son could have built this. What am I gonna do next? I don't know. Honestly, I'm just gonna call it a night, because I'm starting to hit that roadblock and I really don't enjoy it. So, be deuces to y'all, and I'll see y'all later.